everybody, Michelle with Creative Operations and Country Craft Creations, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on this album that is a recreation of an album that I made back in 2014. I did a tutorial series on YouTube that I've altered and updated and, you know, kind of perfected techniques, and so what I did was I recreated and kind of redid this album using Majestic Dreams. This is an exclusive paper collection for Country Craft Creations, and it's a beautiful collection for horse lovers, the Kentucky Derby. It just is a gorgeous collection, and I created this album. It's super cute, super fun, has a lot of little interactions and pockets and things, and I'm going to go through a walkthrough with you with this one. And then we're going to go ahead and make the album. And the album that I will make today will be using the collection Autumn Orchard. Let me see if I can get this page. We'll use this paper collection today because some of the papers you do need to put on before you put the elements on. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I won't finish this album on the camera, but what I'll do is we'll go through, we'll actually make the book, and we'll put paper where we need to in order to make the book, and then I'll show pictures of it afterwards when the video tutorial is all done. This shouldn't take too long to do, and I say that every time, but usually it takes a while. So I just have a simple closure here. I had a Tim Holtz frame that I went and put one of the cut-aparts in. I just thought it was an absolutely gorgeous and simple, elegant cover for this album. The flowers are from Graphic 45 that I did buy through Country Craft Creations, and just a very simple tie closure cover. This is one of the cut-apart strips that I backed on the gold pearl sheen cardstock that you can also get from Country Craft Creations. And then the back, I put one of the cut-aparts from the paper collection here, and just a nice simple cover. When you open up the album, we're going to have a waterfall, and it just has a simple tie closure. I tried to stay away from magnets right now, so there are no magnets in here, but I did use a lot of seam binding, and you'll see why with all the tags. So the waterfall is just a simple waterfall. I did glue it completely down so that I could use a seam binding closure. So this page does not lift up like my usual waterfalls do, but you have lots of opportunity for photos here. I believe there were, what, 7 pages? So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 photos can go here. Then the first page is a pocket page, but not only is it a pocket on the front and the back, but it also has pocket in the middle. So I added some tags here. So they have pattern paper on one side, and then they have cut-aparts on the other, and I just adhered them so you could put a picture behind them. And these go into a top pocket that's created when we make the page and do the binding. So on the back, this page has, you know, another pocket. I did use Graphic 45 tags that I had. I did buy these from Country Craft Creations, and I didn't use the die. I just did the simple square cover for that. And then I used some cardstock, some black cardstock, to create some photo mats. These are 5x7, and then I used some more of that pearl sheen gold paper. And then I had in my stash, I went through and got an old punch. This is a Marvy punch that I've had forever and a day, and I just thought it was kind of a regal kind of punch that I thought would kind of dress up my tag. So I corner rounded the black, and then I did the edge punch just on the corners here for the gold cardstock, and I just wanted to just kind of dress it up just a little bit. The next page here has a flap that opens, so a little booklet. Again, these are adhered down from the cut-apart page, so you can put a picture behind, and then the booklet is adhered so that you could put another tag on the back, or excuse me, behind the booklet here. And then this page also has another pocket, and what I did was I used, if you can see, 2 of the cut-aparts here as kind of a pull tab, and then I have 2 more large framed photo mats that just go into that, and then the little cut-aparts just kind of peek out so you know to pull them out. Again, no magnets or anything like that on this. On this page here, this page because of just the nature of how it was made, was nothing was on it. So I added a cut apart backed with some green cardstock, and then put a couple pieces of the pattern paper that I had left over. I cut them at 3x4, and then I backed them on the gold cardstock to just put some element there. And then the middle page is a nice little kind of half flip page, and it has a pocket. Each one of these has a photo mat, and they just tuck right in there. And then on this page, we have a belly band that's adhered in the middle with some tags. And then this page opens up. There is a just a simple glued pocket here, and then another place for tags and whatnot. This is another one of the cut aparts backed on cardstock. And then here I just put a large photo mat, and then went ahead and put one of the strips of cut apart, and it's adhered just right down the center of it so that you could tuck a picture above or below. And then this page turns. We have a flap. This was a cut apart, and I just thought it was so beautiful. I wanted to, you know, showcase that picture. I just thought it was gorgeous. And then that flips up, another cut apart here. You could put a picture behind. And then this is a pocket that sits on top of the page. And then behind that, we have another tag that I made with some leftover pattern paper, and then another graphic 45 tag that just kind of tuck back in there. The last page, it starts off, there's a pocket here, and I used 2 of the 3x4 cut aparts, back them on cardstock, and then another one of the graphic 45 tags. And then this has just kind of a nice little flip, so it has kind of a little secret area. You could put pattern paper here, you could do some journaling here, you could put a couple smaller pictures here, just a cute little fun element to have. And then this page opens up, there's another booklet, and then a tag that comes out this way with the graphic 45. So I was trying to kind of utilize some space here. Nice place for photos here. On the last page, or last, I should say, the cover, there is a fold out with that just has a tie closure, so it opens like this, and then like this, like this. I put pattern paper in the middle, but I left these open for your photos. And then it just closes up for lots of photo opportunity here, and then has a tie closure here. So we're going to build the bones of the book today. I did use the lay flat method for making the cover, so I went ahead and I already did that for the tutorial so that we can just kind of move along. The one thing that I didn't do is put the pattern paper on the fronts and the backs because I wanted to show about the closure. So for the cover of this book, you'll need chipboard, 2 pieces that are 6.5 by 8.5, and then a piece that's 3 by 8.5. So it does have a 3-inch spine. And the cardstock that you will need to cover all of this, you will need 2 pieces that are 8.5 by 10.5. That's for the front and the back cover. 1 piece that's 6 by 10.5, which will cover the outside of the spine. And then 1 piece that's 6 by 8 3/8. And that will cover the inside piece. So I have my pattern papers ready to go. I'll show you. Here's the inside. So I chose this really beautiful purple leaf paper for the inside. And then for the outside, we're going to do this. Now, I did make sure that if you want a tie closure, you go ahead and use your score tape, find your center, and then put your seam binding or your ribbon right here first. And then we're just simply going to glue this down. Again, I'll do all of the decorating and stuff later off camera, and then I'll have pictures of this at the end of the video that you can look at, you know, so you can see how it ended up turning out. But this is the basic cover. Now I will have a link to how to make the lay flat cover, and I did do a video tutorial if you are not familiar with how to do it, but it's a really nice cover. You can see that it does lay perfectly flat when it's opened. It's really a nice binding, or excuse me, a nice cover. I shouldn't say binding. It's not a binding, it's a cover. But it turns out really nice, and I really like this method. So I will have a link to that as well. The description will have lots of information. It'll have all the cut list and, you know, everything. And I even have, you know, we'll have all the tags and stuff, so I can show you where they go as we make the book. But this is our cover. I love the truck. I love the colors. The colors are just so nice and deep and rich. I just love it. So this will be our album cover. All right. So we've got that done. We're going to put this off to the side for now. And then let's look at our waterfall. So our waterfall is my waterfall that I make stacked method. So let me get this out of the way. So you will need a few pieces. This is an odd number waterfall, so you will have one short piece, and that's exactly the way it needs to be. So you will need one piece that's 5 3/4 or 12 by 5 3/4, one piece that's 11 by 5 3/4, one piece that's 10 by 5 3/4, and then one piece that's 5 by 5 3/4. The end page that you will get is 4.5 by 5 3/4. Okay, so let's put that here for now. Let's get our scoreboard and get that out of the way, get my scoring tool. And all of these, what you're gonna do, and this is just the easiest way to do it, put it so the 5 3/4 is right here on the left edge, and then score at 4.5, okay? So just take all of your pieces, no matter how long they are, put the 5 3/4 here, score at 4.5, and then on the longer pieces, turn and score again at 4.5. All right, and we're going to do that for all of our pages. 4.5, and then, excuse me, and then turn it in 4.5, and that'll give you your perfect page sizes. So we're going to do that for all of these. All right, including the shorter piece. I keep wanting to do that because I already did the score to try to speed things up a little bit, but I still end up doing them, so there you go. I do need this back, though. Okay, so then I'm going to turn my scoreboard to the side. I'm going to grab this guy here, the longest one, and what we should do is fold, okay? And we'll burnish this also when we put it all together too. So I'm just going to finger fold that right now. And then what you're going to do is the longest piece, the 12-inch piece is laying there. Take your 11-inch piece and put glue just on the spine piece in between the two 4.5-inch pieces. Now I also have a tutorial on how to do this and how to kind of do other sides as well, or other sizes. So I'll have a link for that as well. Okay, so now we have our 11-inch piece on top of our 12-inch piece. So here's our 10-inch piece. I should say while I'm doing this that I am using craft cardstock from Country Craft Creations, and this is a real nice, thick, wonderful cardstock to use. This is going to make very durable pages. So laying that down. Now what I'm doing, and I probably didn't say that, so I'll tell you now. So where the score is, I'm just going a 1/2 inch down because there is a 1/2 inch gusset, and then I'm laying that down so that all pages will end up being a 1/2 inch space in between. I'm sorry, I failed to mention that part. You don't want to miter any of these, any of the corners on this one, because this is going to go ahead and lay right against the score, and this becomes that odd middle piece, so you'll have a 1/2 inch on either side. Okay? So then we're going to do that, and lay that down. And I'm using my scoreboard to try to make sure everything is nice and flat, nice and straight. So then we have our waterfall, okay? And then you can kind of, if you need to, you can trim. And I might need to trim just a little bit. It looks a little off, so let me do that really quick, and then I'll be right back. So, you know, nobody's perfect, and you can cut these things and they can be a little bit wonky, but for the most part, this method works really well for making a waterfall. So I just trimmed up the sides just a little bit, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put the seam binding on so that we have our closure. So I'm just going to grab my ruler and my score tape. Now we're going to glue this whole back piece down, okay? So if you look at it here, Here's your waterfall. This is the back side. We're going to glue this whole piece down so that we can use the seam binding. If you choose to use a magnet, you can totally do that. You'll have to create a little tab, you know, to do that. But we're going to do the seam binding method today. So I have two nice pieces that are, you know, I usually cut them around 12 inches. I think these are a little bit longer, a little like 14 inches. And I'm just using my centering ruler, finding my center, top and bottom. Okay. And then we're going to just place our seam binding right over top. And I have two sets of seam bindings for the front inside cover, and then for the other side with the fold out. Okay, so that'll go like that. And then we'll grab our book, and then this is going to go in the front cover, so just make sure you got the correct cover. You don't have to put pattern paper on it yet if you don't want to, but this is going to go down right here. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to wait and add this till the end because I want it out of the way when I lay my pages in my book, okay? But that's one thing you do need to do is make sure that you have pattern paper on the inside cover so that that will be right on top of that, okay? So it'll look like that when we're done, okay? But we're going to put it off to the side for right now. And then we're going to grab the next thing, which is the fold out for the back page. And again, this will also be put on after we put the pages in the book because I want to make sure, you know, that the pages, when I lay them down, whoops, they're nice and straight. So I'm going to grab my, should tell you what I'm going to grab. Okay, so for the fold out, you're going to need a piece that's 9 by 6.5, a piece that's 5 by 6.5, and a piece, or two pieces that are 7 by 4.5. These are going to create 6.5 by 4.5 inch pages. So it'll be plenty big to put 4 by 6 photos in. Okay, so we'll put that here for now. The 9 by 6.5, put it in your scoreboard, score at 4.5, and then that's just going to get folded and just make like a booklet. Then your two pieces that are 7 by 4.5, okay, either way you want to do this, put the 7 at the top, score at half for both of those. And then your piece that's 5 by 6.5 with your 5 at the top, score at half. And then what you're going to do is grab your scissors and we're going to miter the corners. And basically, we're just going to create that fold out. So we're going to create kind of a cross shape. So we're going to take and fold our scores. We've mitered the corners. All right. We're going to take our booklet and we're going to take our page that's 5 by 6.5 and we're just going to glue that right to the back side of that. Now, the reason I'm doing the back side is so that when this opens up, if you do not want to put pattern paper on this, you won't have tabs to cover up. So all of the pages will be tabless. The back of this will be glued down to the inside back cover of our book. So the tabs can be back there. That's not a problem. So then I'm just going to put that down. I'm going to make sure it's not in the crease. Okay, not in the score. And glue that down. I'm going to fold it over just to make sure that I don't have it too far into that, okay? And then we're just going to do it top and bottom too, okay? I'm going to turn this to the side. Add my glue to the inside tab, and we're going to glue this to the back side of that booklet. And you're just basically creating a cross shape, okay? Or an X shape. I'm just going to fold that over, make sure that we're good. Okay. Nope, over too much a little bit. So I'm going to peel that off. All right, more glue, more glue. Okay, let me think. All right. There we go. That will go to the inside. And wow, I am not doing this well at all. Okay, I'm going to take just a sliver off just to make sure it fits in there. Just a hair. So yeah, probably should dry fit this first because that would be the smart thing to do. So dry fit it, make sure that the pages will fold over it nice without bowing, okay? So if you have to cut a little sliver off, no big deal. Okay, now let's glue it down and see how that works. And that's how you fix that problem. Use an art glitter glue so it sets quick, but it also gives you a little bit of time before, you know, it sets completely so you can do checks like that. Okay, so there we go. That's more better. So I'm guessing that I'm going to have to do the same thing to this. So I'm just going to cut off a little sliver on this one too. And I'm thinking that's going to work just fine. So let's dry fit that because that's the smart thing to do. Like that. Perfect. Okay. So more glue. And then right to the score line, like that. Make sure you got it. Perfect. Okay. And that's all there is to making that fold out. But it really does give a nice wow factor when you open it up because it just keeps going and you have lots of room for pictures. So I folded the bottom, the top, and then the side, and then this side. So this will be the front, and then the other thing you can do once you get it all folded is just kind of re-burnish your lines. All right. And then we're going to turn it over. We're going to put seam binding on the sides here. Grab our ruler. So this is 6.5, 3 1/4 from the center. Like so. If I don't move it, of course. All right. Alrighty, there we go. All right, seam binding around. And I'm trying to keep it flat because I did wet it down and crinkled it because I like that look. All right, so it's going to open like so. Okay, so I'm going to put that in here. We can put pattern paper on it later. And again, this is going to set, if I can get the ribbon tied. Maybe I can get the ribbon tied. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Wow. Okay. I can do this. Wow, maybe I can't. I don't even know. I don't even know. All right, there. Done. Okay, so this one will set on the inside of the back cover. The fold out will go right there. Okay, we'll do that after we put the picture or the pages in the book. Okay, so setting this off to the side, and then we're going to grab our binding pieces. Now you're going to wonder why I'm doing this kind of separate binding thing. Well, when I originally did this project, the pages I used the hinge binding system. I wasn't using artisan cardstock at the time, and you kind of need that extra support. But since I'm using the artisan cardstock and I am using a full, like some of the pages are 12 inches wide, I need my extra binding piece to add to it, so I didn't have to, you know, resize the pages. The other thing too is that with my original album, I didn't have my my 1/4 inch give space, and I wanted to make sure that I had that. So what you're going to do is you're going to make 5 pieces, and they are 1 1/4 inch by 8 inches. Okay, and you're going to stick them in your scoreboard, and you're going to score them at 1/2 inch, and then at 3/4 of an inch. And what that's going to do if I can get them straight. There we go. It's going to give you a 1/2 inch to glue to the spine, your 1/4 inch give space, and then your piece that's going to be the attachment for your pages. Okay, so you need to make 5 of these. Then once you do that scoring, and again, you put it in the scoreboard at 1/2 and then at 3/4, and then you're going to take one side only and miter. Okay, that's it. All right, so you should have a piece that'll look like this and miter your corners. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to be right back because I should have finished this before the video so you don't have to watch me do it. So, but again, let's talk through it for this one and then I'll speed up the rest. So you score at 1/2 inch, at 3/4 of an inch, and then fold, burnish, miter only one of the 1/2 inch pieces. Okay, I'm going to finish these and I will be right back. Okay, so I have my binding pieces done, and what I'm going to do is set those to the side, and we're going to use those as we make our pages. So I'm just going to put those off to the side. Then we're going to start working on page 1. Okay, so page 1 has a few parts and pieces. So the first piece we're going to need is a 12 by 11 1/8. So 12 inches wide, 11 1/8 inch tall. We're going to have pockets on page 1. So page 1 is the one that has the pocket here and here, and I resized this from the original because I wanted to use the strips that had this beautiful image of the horses on them, so that I shortened the pocket. So that's why it's kind of a weird little size, but that's why I did it. I wanted to utilize that strip. So we're going to need to close the edges of the pockets. So you will need 2 pieces that are 3 by 1, and these are just scored down the middle at 1/2. Okay, and then I cut for the for inside the pockets 2 mats, photo mats, 5 by 7. We'll stick those off to the side. And then the tags that go on the inside of the top pocket of the page are 4 by 8. And I just went ahead and already did the tag shape, and we just have to add pattern paper to them later. Okay, so let's start with the page. I'll put this up here. The page we're going to stick in our scoreboard. And at the 12 inch at the top, we're going to score down the middle at 6. And then we're going to turn at 11 1/8 inch at the top, and we're going to score at 8. All right. So then what we're going to do, I'm going to do it this way, I think. What we're going to do is we're going to fold and burnish our page. Okay, so this is at the 6 inch mark here. And then the pocket will actually fold up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish that. And then this will fold like this. And it just makes kind of a basic pocket page. All right, like so. Okay, so binding piece. The binding piece that you will need, get one of those. And then it glues right into the center of that pocket. So then you'll end up having the mitered tab on the inside, your 1/4 inch give space, and your 1/2 inch that glues to the top. Okay, so you can see how that's going to look right there. When we glue that down, we're going to glue the bottom, and that will leave the top open for the tags, and then you'll have your pockets. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue our pocket down. It doesn't really matter which side you do on the binding strip. I'm going to do it so I can see it easy. Okay, and it's going to go to the inside of the pocket, so I'm just going to lay this down right at the score to the 1/4 inch there. Okay, and then just lay that down. All right, just like that. Okay, so far so good. So we have our page here, and then you have your binding piece we added. So that'll give you the binding piece, and then you still have 6 inch wide pages. Okay, and we're going to fold this and grab our pocket pieces that we're going to use to make the pockets. Now you could simply just glue that down if you wanted to. If you do want to do that, then what you need to do is get your pattern paper, and you need to put that in first, and then you can just simply glue that down. Not a problem if you wanted to do that. I wanted to do a little bit of a gusset on that side because I wasn't sure how many you know, tags and stuff I was going to stick in there, so I wanted a little extra room. So you don't have to do that first. And I'm going to show you how to do it if you want to add that little extra give on the side for the pocket. And then their pattern paper will just slip down under, or excuse me, over the tabs and cover that up. Okay. So I'm just going to take my paper. I'm going to open this up inside of the pockets like so. Okay, on both sides. So you just take your 3 by 1 inch piece that we've scored at 1/2 inch. Gonna miter the corners a little bit, okay, like so. And then take a little bit of glue. And I'm gonna add that right to the inside of the pocket here, okay? All right. Like so. All right, then I'm going to fold my book up again. Just going to make sure everything's laying nice and flat, everything's good. Then I'm just going to lift this up. I'm going to put a little glue on the tab here. And glue that down, and then that'll complete your pocket. Okay. So then I'm just going to go in here. Glue that tab down. Okay, that'll just give you a little bit of extra kind of room there. Okay, so now you should have a page. It will open up still, okay, and you'll have the 2 pockets, 1 on each side, okay, like that. Your pattern paper will just slip down. I'm not going to go ahead and glue it. This is the front of the page, and your pattern paper will just kind of slip right down in there. There you go. And it will cover the tab, okay? So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna glue that down right now, but you can just kind of see what I'm doing here, okay? So then we just need to complete the pocket. So we just need to put glue down the side and the bottom and finish the top pocket. Like so. And just close that up, and that completes that page. And then this can be added to your book. All right, so here's the front, here's your binding, you can see from the top, and then you'll have a nice pocket on each side, and we can actually add the pattern paper that I'm going to put on the inside there. There we go. All right, so that'll be the back of the page, and that'll be the front of the page, okay? So we'll put this off to the side. We don't have to glue these down quite yet, so it's just for visual. But then what I wanted to show you also is that here is one of the 5x7 mats for that, and here's a 5x7 mat for that, and then we have our 2 4x8 tags that will go in the top pocket. If I can get them in there. There we go. Okay, so just like that. So let's put this off to the side. Go to page 2. Page 2 is going to be, this is page 1. Page 2 will have a booklet on the front that's glued on 3 sides, and then a tag behind, and then it has a pocket in the middle, and then the back side is just plain, and you can decorate it, add pockets to it, whatever you want. So you need 2 pieces of paper, one that's 6x8 and one that's 6x9, and those will create the actual kind of envelope page. And then you need 2 5x7s for the mats, and then you need and those go in the side pocket. Then you need the booklet that's 9x6.5, and then you need a tag for the booklet that's 3¼ by 6.5. Okay, so let's get some of these off to the side, and let's make our page. So you have one that's 6 by 8. That doesn't require any scoring whatsoever. You grab your 6 by 9, put it in your scoreboard, score at half, and then score at 8.5. We're going to fold, burnish, and miter. My scissors here. Okay, now before we go any further, grab one of your binding pieces. We're going to go ahead and put our binding right on here, and that should fit right in between, you know, the scores there. So we're just going to go ahead and lay that down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue on. And this all ensures that we can have 6-inch pages, okay? So I'm gonna do this upside down, like that. There we go. So I can see what I'm doing. That'd be a novel concept, wouldn't it? Okay. All right. So we've got our binding piece attached right here, and then we're gonna lay this down, and we're just simply gonna glue here, down here, and then over this way. And that will glue the pocket on, and we'll have our side pocket completed. So put our glue on, and then you can go ahead and do one first. Make sure it's all lined up, and then we can lay it down the rest of the way. Making sure everything's nice and straight. Okay, so that's glued to that top fold. Then I'm just going to add glue here on the tab that our hinge created, and then put some on the bottom tab here. And fold that over. And page 2 is created. Now, page 2, you need to have your pattern paper on first. So I've already got that created. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we will lay down our booklet. And the booklet can be decorated later. This album really does come together nice and quick. And it has a lot of interaction in it too, which is fun. So once you get that done, the front of the book, we're just going to grab our, and I should show you this. So this is the 9 by 6.5 piece, and you're going to score down the middle at 4.5, and then just fold it over, and there's your booklet. All right, now I did not use any seam binding for a closure or anything like that. I didn't think it really needed it, and originally I didn't do it. You totally could add that if you wanted to. To make the area for the tag, all we're going to do is we're going to put glue on the back side, just on the 3 sides, okay? So it creates a top pocket behind this booklet, okay? And then we're just going to center that down, and I'm just going to eyeball it here. That looks like about right. And voila. I did ink my papers on this album. So I did do that. And then here's our tag. So this again is the 3 1/4 by 6.5, and that will just slip behind that pocket that we created and be a nice little tag, okay? These 2 photo mats here will go in this pocket here, and you can decorate those however you want, okay? And then there's lots of room for more. So that is that. Now this back page remains blank, so you can put photo mats, you could do a little corner pocket with a cut apart, whatever you want to do. I'm going to set that off to the side. I'll show you. So the back of page 2, we just created this, okay, in the pocket, and then the back is left blank. I used a cut apart here to create a little tuck spot for some little cut aparts that I made myself. Now what we're going to do is do this cute, fun half page. So the half page, put that there, is, I'm calling it page 3, okay? It's actually kind of in 2 parts. So you're going to need 2 pieces that are 6 by 8.5, and the tags for these are 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I cut those already. Those are there. So the 2 6 by 8.5 pieces, super easy. Put them in your scoreboard. Score at 4 and at 8, both of them, 4 and 8. That's all you have to do, okay? Then what you're going to do is grab one of your hinges, and we're going to cut this guy right in half at 4, okay? They're 8 inches long, so we're just going to put them in our cutter, and we're going to cut them. Now, don't panic about this, because when you put them in your book, we're going to cover this with a strip of paper, and that will cover that cut right there, okay? But you need to have the pages so that they can move independently with that give space, okay? So we're going to remiter, okay? So you need to have both of these mitered again, okay? Just that 1 1/2 inch side. All right, then let's grab this and let's fold some pages, and basically you're just making a simple pocket just with the added hinge. That's all we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to fold, make sure they're even, like so. Fold this in. Okay, and again, what we're going to do is we're just going to glue that right to the inside of that, and I'm going to dry fit it just a little bit because I want to make sure it fits really well. And it should fit pretty good. So if you do need to trim, which I don't think we will, because you mitered it. So you shouldn't have to trim it, okay? Okay, so I'm turning it over. I'm gluing it to the inside. Okay, so that gets glued there. And then you just do the same thing. You fold it over and you glue it on the edge and then down the bottom. Like so. And that creates a nice little half page. Okay? So you should have a piece that looks like that. So we're going to do that one more time. And fold and burnish. All right. Grab our little half piece here. And I'm just doing this way so I can see it better. However it works for you to be able to see what you're doing. However you need to turn it is good. Yeah. All right. And then put a little glue here on that tab with our binding. And a little glue here. Like I said, this is a recreation of an album that I did a series on back in 2014. It was some of the first you know, videos that I ever really attempted to do. So if you go back and watch them, don't laugh. All right, so then these tags here just fit right in here, and you can decorate those later. You can decorate these pages later. So we're going to go ahead and put these off to the side and grab page 4. All right, page 4. Here's what we're going to be creating with page 4. Page 4 is fun because it has lots of interaction. Let me, hold on a second here. Put that there. Okay, so page 4 has lots of interactions. So we have a belly band here. It opens up. You have a pocket over here that's just an add-on, just simple glued pocket. This turns into a big photo mat page. And then on the back, we're going to have a flap here and then another pocket here. Okay, so let's start with making our base page. So our base page, you will need a piece that's 8 by 11.5. We're going to put in our scoreboard with the 11.5 at the top, and we're going to score down at 6. So what this is going to do when we fold this is going to give you that first flap. This is where the belly band is going to be. So this is the front of this page. Grab your binding mechanism. It doesn't really matter which way you put it on there because it's not going to be like in a pocket this time. So you can just glue it right to the back of this page and it's going to get covered up with your pattern paper. So I'm going to do that. So we add our binding piece. Like so. Okay, right to the edge of that 1/4 inch. All right, so now you will have a page that looks like this. Okay, has the binding piece in the fold right there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add the belly band. Now you're going to need a piece that is 1 3/4 by 8.5. So take the 1 3/4 by 8.5 piece, put the 8.5 at the top, score at 1/2 inch and at 8. Okay, before we lay this down, we'll need to cover this with pattern paper. So I've already got that picked out. So we're going to do that. And I've already pre-inked it. So we are going to put our glue on like this. And glue that right on the front of the panel that ends up being 5.5 inches wide when we fold our base page paper, okay? Like so. Okay. And then you have our belly band that we've already scored. So you're just going to fold and burnish, miter your corners. And then before we glue this down, there's one more thing we need to do. Okay. So we're going to grab our ruler. We're going to find the midpoint of this belly band, and with a pencil, I'm just going to draw a little line. Okay, so this will be the midpoint. Get my pencil to work. Is 3 3/4 from the end, and I'm just going to draw a little line. We're going to put a little bead of glue there when we glue it down. That's going to give us the 2 sections of our belly band here so that our tags, our small tags will stay in place. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you just want it to be one big belly band, you can totally forget to glue the middle part. That's fine. However you want to do it. Okay, so now on the inside of our belly band, I've got my pencil line. I'm going to grab my page that I've already put my pattern paper on because this is shorter than the page. Okay, designed on purpose. And then I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this centered. So I'm going to, it's 5.5. So I'm centering this 5.5 inch page at the 2 3/4. And then this is going to go right here about 1/4 inch up and down from the bottom and the top. Okay. So then I'm going to take my glue. And there's like 100 different ways to find the center point. So this is just one way of doing it. All right. So I'm going to line that up. Like so. And I'm gluing that down. Now I only glued that top piece down. It's not going to show once the belly band is down. Okay. All right, then I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to put a bead of glue here, line of glue, and then I'm going to put glue here. And you can add as many tags as you want in here, as many as can fit. It does have room to move. you know, so you can put more than one tag in here too. I just created one. All right. Like so. Okay. So then that is that, and your little tags that measure 4.5 by 3 fit top and bottom there. Okay. So that part is done. So then what we're going to do is open the book, or open the page, I should say, and we're going to work on that pocket. Now that pocket is glued down on top of some pattern paper. So what I did was I grabbed a piece of, now the pocket's going to go here. You're not going to see this part, so I just grabbed a strip that would fit so I didn't have to cut into another piece of paper. And we're going to glue this down first. So regardless of, you know, the paper you use, whatever paper, if you want to, you know, do it the full way, you can. But since it's just a simple glue down pocket, we're just going to use this strip and conserve our piece of paper. Okay, so we're going to glue that down. This is on the underside of that 5.5 inch panel. Okay, so we're still on the front of page 4. And then we're going to grab the pocket pieces 2.5 by 8. 2.5 by 8. So it's just going to glue simply right here. And then we'll put pattern paper over the top of it, and that's going to give us a nice pocket here. So I'm just going to put glue on the 3 sides, like so. And this is why you have to put the pattern paper down first, because that's just going to glue down. I'm going to turn it like this so I can see, and just line it up to the edges of your page on the underside. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Okay. There we go. Okay, and we can add pattern paper to the top of that later. Okay, so now what we've got is our page with the front with the belly bands, and then we open it up and there's a pocket back here. And then on the underneath side is where I chose to do a big photo mat right here. So we're not going to do anything with that right now. Okay, but you have your pocket here, and then you have your belly bands here. Now we're going to look at the back side, which is going to have this flip and then a nice pocket underneath. So the first thing we have to do is, let's turn our piece over. So this is the back side, and I'm going to open it up just so that I don't have this bulk underneath me. And you will need 2 pieces. You'll need a piece that's 7 by 4.5 for the top flap. That goes on first. So we'll go ahead and cut it 7 by 4.5, and on the 7 inch, we're going to score it a half. Okay, and just fold and burnish and miter. And then you're just going to glue that just to the top of the edge of the page. And I did it about 1/4 inch in from the edge, but right at the top edge of the page, okay? So go about 1/4 inch in, right to the top edge of that page, okay? Like so, okay? So that'll be the back page, like that. And then the next thing you're going to need to do is put your pattern paper on. So we are going to do that. Now this, yep, is going to go there. Yep. All right, getting myself oriented just to make sure I don't mess anything up. So we're going to put our pattern paper down. After I throw it across my desk, of course, because I just have to always throw something. I get so excited and then I just get fumble fingers, I think. Okay, so we'll go ahead and lay that down. I'm going to open that up again just so I can not have the bulk behind it when I do this. All right. Okay, so that covers the tab up at the top. All right. And then the pocket lays on top of the page. So let's put this to the side for a second. The pocket for this is, I didn't write it down. Oh, okay. It is 7.5 by 5. sorry, I didn't write that down. On here, I'll make sure that it is correct in the directions down below of the video, okay? So we're going to put this in the scoreboard, and we're going to score on 3 sides. So put it in the 5, score it half, and then turn it so the 7 is up at the top, score it at a half, and 7, or turn it and score it again at half. Doesn't matter either way. Will work just fine. So then, let's do this. Miter your corners. And I'm doing kind of a big miter there on the corners just to kind of keep the bulk down from the pocket. Okay. Keep running into that. I apologize if I look like I'm in a hurry or feel like I'm in a hurry. I don't know why. I haven't had that much caffeine today, but I feel like I am just motoring along for sure. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go on the page here. Now, we are going to put it in about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom and the side. Okay, so it kind of is a little bit on the symmetrical side, I guess. And what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on the long side first. And I am, again, just eyeballing it. About 1/4 of an inch from the bottom and the inside by the binding. This is the back of page 4. Okay. And then I'm going to grab a piece of tape because when we put our tags in and stuff, I don't want it to catch. So I'm just going to put that tape right there. And that will help make it the tags and things slide over that edge. And then we will just glue down the rest of our pocket. This is a pretty simple project. Takes way longer to prepare for it than it actually does to do it. That's for sure. Okay, you guys, we're almost done. We have one more page to go, and then we stick them in the book, and then we are good to go. So now you have the pocket on this side, okay? And the flap goes over the top. And again, you put the pattern paper and photo mats and stuff, that'll hold it down. You don't really need anything to hold that down. So the front of page 4 will have your belly band with your tags. It opens up. There's a pocket here, and then a big photo mat opportunity here, okay? And then you turn it over, and there's a flap, and then there's a pocket right here, okay? Your binding piece there. Put that off to the side, and let's grab page 5. Now, page 5 is kind of fun. This has a pocket on the front, okay? So we have a lot of room for pocket here, and then it opens up like that. And then when you turn it over, there's a booklet, and then another opportunity for a tag down there. So you could, in retrospect, maybe should have put the tag coming out this side, but you know, it is what it is. So you guys, if you want to do that, you totally can. And maybe I will for this one just because of the way the page orientation is. But the tag fit just perfectly, and with the gusset pieces, it didn't really, you know, matter. So it worked out just fine. All right, so page 5, we only need a couple things. So we need to have a 12 by 8 piece of paper that we're going to stick in our scoreboard. Get it the right way. And you're going to score it at 6 and at 9. Okay, so 12 at the top, 8, score at 6 and at 9. All right, then you're going to need a booklet. The booklet is 9 by 6.5, and we've done this a couple other times already. Same thing. So you stick it in 9 at the top, score it 4.5, and that gives you your booklet piece that we're going to need. And then you're going to have these little pocket pieces that I'm going to use to close the pocket. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can totally just glue it down, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it so that I have a little bit more room. So you're just going to take a 3 by 1 inch piece, score it down the middle at half, okay? And that'll make the binding piece, all right? So let's get this out of the way, put this down, and we're going to go ahead and fold and burnish and miter our pocket pieces. Okay, and then we have our page. So our page, we're going to turn it over. We're going to fold it at the 6, okay, like so. And then we're going to fold this piece back. This is going to give the pocket here and then our little kind of secret space there. And you could totally use like a paper clip or something to, if you wanted to have some like secret journaling or something like that, you could totally do that. Before we go any further, let's add our binding piece. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just add our glue. And again, there's no pocket on this one. So we'll just add it to the back of the page. Not a problem. And again, this is so that we can have our true 6-inch pages. This just adds the binding that we need to it. So we didn't have to, you know, I usually do the binding in the page itself. This way we don't have to do that. So we got that. And then we're just going to add our little pocket pieces right to this inside 3-inch space right here at the edge, top and bottom. Okay. You don't, if you do this method with the pocket pieces, you don't have to put the pattern paper down first. If you're going to glue it down instead of doing this and just make it simple, you do have to put your pattern paper down, okay? So just be aware of that. So we're going to fold that over and we're just going to glue these 2 pieces down and the pocket is done. When you cover things with pattern paper, I've been covering on I used to do a 1/4 inch shorter than everything, but now I'm doing an 1/8 of an inch shorter than everything. So for example, the pages are 6 by 8. So I'm covering with pattern paper that is 5 7/8 by 7 7/8. So 1/8 inch shorter than everything. All right. And then just to show you, with the binding piece, then you can just kind of tuck your pattern paper in there. Do it this way because it's easier for me, usually. Because I am hopelessly right-handed. There you go. So our pattern paper will go there, and then you'll add some more here and here, okay? So that part's done, and then all we have to do now is add pattern paper to the back and put our booklet on, and then we're good to go. So I'm going to do that. Add our pattern paper first. And again, I did not use any kind of closure. I love this paper collection. I love all the paper collections. I got to tell you, Country Craft Creations papers are amazing. The colors are so nice. The paper feels good too. It has just a smooth, glossy feel and look to it. I just love it. I just love it. All right. So I think for this album, what we're going to do is glue it so that the pocket actually opens up on the side, so towards the outside of the book, just to make it a little bit easier. Okay. So we got our booklet here. So I'm going to add the glue so that the fold is going to be towards the outside edge of the book. Glue on 3 sides, which will create a pocket. And I used a graphic 45 tag in this one, so I didn't give a tag size on this one. Okay. There we go. I just centered that. So now you have a pocket here. All right. And you can fill that with whatever kind of tag you want. Okay, so now we're done with the pages. So now all we need to do now is put them in the book. So let me get this stuff out of the way. We'll get our pages that we've made. And let me just move some stuff here. All right, so I did lay, these are the papers that I use for the half, or I'm gonna use for the half page. I'm just gonna get those out of the way for right now. Okay, so here's our pages. Let's get our cover. Okay, so 1/2 inch gusset. That hasn't changed, so I'm just going to take my ruler and I'm going to make sure that I have my 1/2 inch here. If I can see it. Go, yeah, right about there. And draw a pencil line. Yeah, I can kind of see that. And then I'm just going to take my pages and lay them down. So just like I would with any of the other books that I have done, okay? I have my 1/4 inch gusset piece and my 1/2 inch piece that's going to glue down. I'm not mitering these at all, okay? I want them nice and straight. So I'm going to try and get that in the light so I can see that line. All right, it's nice and straight. Hopefully, excuse my head there for a second. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and straight. All right, and just lay that down, okay? First page is down. And it does look, yeah, I think it's pretty straight. Okay, and then take your second page, get this out of the way. Same thing, we're just gonna lay them down. I'm gonna get this out of the way for just a second, okay? Glue. Line that up right next to the tab you just laid down. Make sure you don't glue down your 1/4 inch give space, okay? We want that. That helps everything turn, which is something I didn't do when I first did this design back in the day. All right, and this guy is gonna go right there. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just take, excuse my reach, paper clip and clip that there for right now. Okay. Right, no, that one, that side. Okay, 1/2 pages. All right, so these are just going to stack up. They're the same height. We just cut them in half. So we're just going to put one up and one down, and we're going to line it all up, and it's going to be beautiful. That's all we're going to do. So this is kind of a fun way to get some, you know, kind of interactive pages going too. So I'm just going to put that there. Line that right up to the top, right up against the edge of that tab. All right, and then grab the second one. And then just line that up right like that. And they should butt up right against each other just as pretty as you please. And then give you the two separate workings. Okay? Right on. Okay, next page. Page 4. Now I'm getting the pages in here, and I'm already pretty much half decorated too, so I just got to go back and finish it and take pictures, and then we're good to go. Right on. So, let's see, right like so. Okay. Down we go. There we go. All right, last page. And this one, I always do the opposite direction so that the tab is on top of the previous tab, and then you don't have a tab sticking out on the other side, okay? So I'm gonna put the glue on. And lay that down. Make sure that's nice and straight. And then you have a beautiful edge on both sides of your book. Then we will cover the inside gussets here with patterned paper. I'll get some strips that are 3/8 inch wide and cover that up. All right. And then the pages here, you can't even see it right there. And once you get pattern paper on it, you're not even going to see it. So there you go. There is our book. All right, so last thing we need to do is add the front and back elements. So we have our waterfall. Basically, just glue that down and you're done. And then glue the fold out down and you're done. That's it. We are completely finished with this. So this is a fun, quick album that you can whip up pretty fast. Let's see, I think I used like 16 sheets of cardstock for the base of the book. And then I used about, for the Majestic Dreams, I used about 4 of the Pearl Sheen gold paper. And I used about 1 sheet of the olive green paper for, you know, photo mats and sundry things. So, it, you know, doesn't take a whole lot of paper. I did use, how much did I say I used? I wrote it down. For the pattern paper for Majestic Dreams, I used about 16 pieces of paper plus 1 sheet of cut aparts and 1 sheet of the journaling cards. Okay, so it does take, you know, some pattern paper to cover, but boy, this book is just amazing when it's done, I think. I really like it. So make sure your book is in the proper orientation and glue this down, and then we're done. So I will have pictures at the end of this so that you can see how this particular album, using Autumn Orchard, turned out. All right, sorry about I'm just gonna eyeball this, center it, right like about there. I think that looks good to me. And we're done. Album is complete. So it's just a matter of decorating and everything else. Now we are good to go. All right, so here is the album. We've got our tie closure for the cover, and it's going to open up. You're going to have this beautiful waterfall here. You're going to have a pocket page here and up at the top of this page, and then you're also going to have a pocket page here. Here you have a booklet with a tag that comes out of the top, and then you also have a pocket page in here. This page is blank, so you could put a photo mat. You have your half pages, and each of them have a tag. You have your page with a belly band and a pocket. Nice photo mat opportunity here. And then you have a flap and you have a pocket here. This page, you'll have a pocket here. You'll have a little secret place here. And then you'll have your flap here with a pocket here. And then you have your fold out mechanism here that will do this and give you even more opportunities for photos. You could even lay photos in here too if you wanted to. So this is my album. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really enjoyed making this album, and I'm going to have fun decorating this one. Fall is my favorite season of the year, and I am digging these colors so much. I'm going to have a really good time, so I'll have pictures for that. But this is my project. This is a recreation of a project I did back in 2014. This is kind of, I guess, the second one that I've done in the October challenge for the design team, and I am using not only Autumn Orchard, but Majestic Dreams from Country Craft Creations, exclusively from Country Craft Creations. So please go to countrycraftcreations.com, check it out, check out all the other papers that are out there. They're just amazing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and excuse me, stay tuned. I will have some more tutorials for you later. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.